Hey guys, this is a different camera that I'm using, so if it looks different, if it sounds different, it's a wider view. I do not intend, except for the last video that I made, I don't intend to make videos about Donald Trump, except at maybe every 10th video, because I want to be more about God. But when I find something, I'm gonna do that. It is my full belief that no one else but Donald Trump is the Antichrist of the Bible. And the amount of signs that are given are, you could write a book about them. That's how many there are. But people don't see it. And the problem is, they say one of two things. They say he's ushering in. Ushering in what? He is the Antichrist. He is the man of sin, the top of the E-list, but you still don't see it. You still don't see the character that was explained in the book of Daniel. He's a rude, a vile, a disgusting, and he prospers by deceit. That's why he honors a god of fortresses and gold, and he doesn't regard women or the God of his fathers, because he exalts himself in his own heart. You see this daily. Do you see the things that he's reading? And do you see the utter, Christians taking his side? It's like he tests people to see how far they go. And I'm not the right or the left. I'm for God. So there's nothing you can say to me on that front. But I would vote conservative. But I would vote conservative where I live in Canada, where the conservatives are the real old conservatives. It's just unbelievable that you can't see who he is. And that the covenant that we had been waiting for, even though we heard of nothing of 7 yet, we know they had it on October 13th. Exactly like Tom Horn said. He didn't say that. He said, count backwards from the date that Apophis is going to hit the earth, because he believed it was wormwood, and so do I. I don't have any reservations of that's wormwood or not. Count backwards 3.5 years, because he believed that was the mid-tribulation point. But he died. And so I looked, and it landed on the day that they signed. Trump was sitting at a long wooden table, just a long table, maybe 20 feet long. And he had all the major leaders behind him. It was El-Sheikh in Egypt, okay? And Apophis is the god of destruction and chaos. It was exactly as Tom Horn said. Man, that guy was pretty good. Actually, he was one of the best. And the Essenes predicted that this 2025 is the end of the age. And if you take a look around, you can see the things that are happening. They're moving very quickly. But what is this video about anyways? I found something of which I have to make this. All the names, I'm sure all the names are not recorded here, but in the political spectrum and possibly to other people, I went down the list. I can't remember it off heart. Who is this guy? Do you remember being in high school? Do you remember any bullies in high school? So the bullies back in my day were probably worse than they are today. I believe that. The things that they would do, because there's sensitivity today, right? The name calling. He's a little child. Do you get it? The things that he does works because the power of Satan's behind him. But I want to read some. I'll try to read as many as I can, but I'll put it in the description box. And this is my new camera, by the way. I don't know if I'll use this one every time. I like the other one better. But I like the sound better, and I like this may be crisper, but I don't like such a wide view. I was going to say, yeah, so I'm going to read them, and good job on, yeah, oh no, I was going to say, if it cuts out, then I know it's not just his camera, it's my connection. I'm going to read as many as I can. And what I was saying was good job on Wikipedia to actually record these. I'm going to read it in just a second. I bet you've never heard it like this before. And I'm glad I found it. Good job on Wikipedia. Go over this after I read it. I would put them all in a list, but they won't fit in the description box. You only get up to 5,000 characters. So, and here's the thing. This is the worst part of this, that people who are not emotionally intelligent, who have not grown up, just laugh at the names. And some of them may make you laugh. There were a couple that made me laugh, but you understand where we are. I don't think, that's why I make this, to the people who do not understand. If this cuts out, go to the next video, because I'm not making two of them. I'm going to take my teeth out, man. Just give me a sec. I've been trying to talk on video with them, but it's just, man, it's tough. Okay, let's start with Steve Bannon. That's his right-hand man. So, but he's still following him, right? You know how there's back and forth with Trump. He loves him. All you have to do to get back in his graces is to flatter him. Do you get it? So if I started making videos, I'm sure I could get his attention. If I made a channel, I made it, powerful Trump, or, I would, I'd make a video, there's no man on earth that's ever been like this man. He's so powerful, like, he's like a Reagan times two. If I just kept going on like that, he would eventually pick up if I just kept doing those videos. So Steve Bannon, I'm not going to give all their positions, but he's like his right-hand man. Sloppy Steve. Joe Biden, Crooked Joe, Joe Hayden, Sleepy Joe, Slow Joe, Michael Bloomberg, Mini Mike Bloomberg, Richard Blumenthal, Da Nang Dick, Alvin Bragg, Fat Alvin. Is this presidential? This is Judgment on America, I believe. Jerry Brown, Governor Jerry Moonbeam Brown, George P. Bush, My Bush, Jeb Bush, Low Energy Jeb, Pete Buttigieg, Alfred E. Newman. He does this so it sticks, so people remember it and have an instant idea of who that is just by that nickname. Do you get how he does it? Elaine Chao, Coco Chao, Liz Cheney, Low IQ Warhawk, Chris Christie, Sloppy Chris Christie, Hillary Clinton, Crooked Hillary, Crazy Hillary, Beautiful Hillary. Used only after the 2016 election victory. Beautiful Hillary. She was pretty at one point. James Comey, Leakin' James Comey, Lying James Comey, Shady James Comey, Slimeball James Comey, Slippery James Comey, Little Bob Corker, Ted Cruz, Lying Ted. I'm gonna put this in. You watch Antichrist 45, Brother Paul. I'm gonna send this to him. Ron DeSantis, Ron DeSanctimonious. So I remember that when he was running, they were both running for the presidency, and he was calling him DeSanctimonious because he was so good, right? He was more righteous than he. Ron DeSantis, Meatball Ron, Tiny D. He gives a name like Dirty, Tiny, Sloppy so it sticks. Betsy DeVos. Ditzy DeVos. Diane Feinstein. Sneaky Diane. Jeff Flake. Jeff Flakey. Al Frankenstein. Some are funny, you gotta admit, but don't forget who he is. Nikki Haley. Remember this? Nikki Haley, bird brain, when they wanted to send a bird cage with a bird to it. And you're going to give excuses because he's your president and you think he's a good man. Kamala Harris. Comrade Kamala. Crazy Kamala. Laughing Kamala. Lying Kamala Harris. Kamabla. Ida Hutchinson. Or sorry. It was this Kamabla. Asa Hutchinson. Ada Hutchinson. Letitia James. Peekaboo. Jim Justice. Big Jim. John Cash. 1 for 38, 1 for 44. Robert F. Kennedy. Jr. Zoran Mamdani. So you hear a lot about this guy in New York, right? My little communist. Mamdani the commie. Rand Paul Jr. Oh, sorry. Did I hear a bird in the hallway? Thomas Massey. Rand Paul Jr. James Mattis. Mad Dog. Kevin McCarthy. My Kevin. Mitch McConnell. Broken Old Crow. Cocaine Mitch. Evan McMullen. Evan McMuffin. Steve Miller. Weird Steven. Jerry Nadler. Fat Jerry. Just think of what that could do to someone. And there's things that he's done that have made people go unstable. And, when he does this, people will get death threats too. Look what he just called Marjorie Taylor Greene, even though she was being righteous. Release that list. And then he said, and go look at what it was yesterday. I forget the whole thing, but it was not good. Like he wrote a long, big thing on True Social. An 80-year-old man is writing page-long things about other people, attacking them. Peter Navarro, my Peter. Gavin Newsom, Slimy Newscomb, Governor Newscomb. Even if some of these are true, this isn't the way you do this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the mouse, stupid AOC. Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy, nervous Nancy. Mike Pence, little Mike Pence. Mike Pompeo, my Mike. Jerome Powell, Mr. Too Late, Jerome Too Late Powell. Jackie Rosen, Wacky Jackie. Marco Rubio, Little Marco. Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie. I like Bernie Sanders. He's the most truth that's in the party right now. And no, I don't respect any of them, any parties. But remember, God sets up governments. Adam Schiff, little Adam Schiff. Adam Shit. Pencil Neck. Shifty Schiff. Watermelon Head. Like, man. Crying Chuck. Fake tears. Chuck Schumer. Crying Chuck. Fake tears. Chuck Schumer. Our great Palestinian senator. Jeff Sessions. Mr. Magoo. Denied by Trump. Jack Smith. Deranged Jack Smith. Let's look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Wacky Marjorie. Marjorie Taylor Brown. Trader Greene. So this is updated. That's updated because that just happened. Because she's trying to do the right thing. And he's only starting to call her names because of that list. Just think about that. Pardon me. Elizabeth Warren. Pocahontas. That one was funny. Goofy Elizabeth Warren because she said she was, Maxine Waters. Low IQ. Maxine Waters. Susie Wiles. Ice Maiden. These are all a lot of popular. The people he's saying this to are people in high positions. I think this is a worthy video to show you of his character. Listen, I've read about 100 names so far. 50 names. These are just the ones that they know of, that they call people in the media. If you like him, then if you think this is okay, I don't believe you're a real Christian. That is what I'm saying. Because Christians do not conduct themselves in this manner, nor do we respect people who conduct themselves in this manner. Bashar al-Assad, Animal Assad, Shigeru Ishiba, the Prime Minister of Japan, Mr. Japan, Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man, Emmanuel Macron, publicity-seeking Emmanuel Macron. Publicity-seeking is Donald Trump ever since he was known. Mohammed bin Salman, Johnny, he would never call him something bad, right, of course. Justin Trudeau, Governor Trudeau. I'll keep going. Tucker Carlson, kooky Tucker Carlson. Peter Baker, Little, L-I-D-D-L-E. When he says little, it's L-I-D-D-L-E, Peter Baker. Trying to think of ones you guys may know. To look at ones you guys may know. Joe Scarborough, Morning Psycho, Psycho Joe. Michael Moore, Sloppy Michael Moore. Bette Midler, Washed Up Psycho Bette Midler. Jake Tapper, Fake Tapper. This is how he discredits people. That's how he prospers, by deceit. Brian Williams, Lying Brian. Katie Tur, Little Katie. Let's see here. So, Stormy Daniels, Horseface. Jeff Bezos, Jeff Bozo. Mac Miller, Little Mac Miller. Lord Sugar, Dopey Sugar. Tim Cook, Tim Apple. CNN, fake news, low rating CNN. Clinton News Network. Just because I laugh at them doesn't mean anything. I just, some things are funny. The Lincoln Project, Lincoln Pervert Project. Takes one to know one. MS Now, MSDNC. New York Times, failing New York Times. The Washington Post. Amazon, the Washington Post. The Washington Compost. ABC News, ABC Fake News. There's more, I'm just not reading them. Meet the Press, Meet the Depressed. Face a Nation, Deface a Nation. So is Meet the Press, Meet the Fake Press. Donald Trump, a very stable genius. Green New Deal, Green New Scam, that's true. Some of them are true. Nuclear weapons and nuclear power, the N-word. SARS and COVID, China virus, Kung flu. There it is. So that is where it stops, but it's ever growing. Believe me, they got Marjorie Taylor Greene's in there, so that means they've updated it very quickly, because that just happened yesterday. He said something like, something to this effect. Marjorie Taylor Brown, not Green, because her last Marjorie Taylor Greene. Brown, because something about the grass turning from green to brown. You have to read it. That's all I remember in my mind right now. But you see how he does. You see what he does. He's hidden things for many, many years. He's the Antichrist of the Bible. He's in power, and he's the most powerful man in the world. And for anyone to think, I think this is where people get trapped. Number one, they're not seeing who he is. They're not seeing the things that are being done in the world. He's meeting every single description of the biblical Antichrist. Yet people are looking a little to the left, a little to the right, but there he is. He's doing everything. Don't be a Pharisee and miss the times. So anyone who's born again will eventually see who he is. Remember how they missed their time, right? And I'm not saying, well, that's another discussion. I'm not saying you're not saved because you don't know right now. That's not what I'm saying. He will be revealed within his time. So I'm not saying you're not saved because of that, but I want you to see who he is. And I forgot how I was going to finish this off. It's my abdomen. I forgot something pretty major. Study the character of Donald Trump. Just do that. And I'll leave in the description box, the one that I always leave when I talk about Donald Trump. It's the vice of the compilation of, I am better at making cookies than you. No one knows cookies like me. Nuclear power, no one knows nuclear power. No one knows the power of nuclear power like me. This is how he's pushed his way throughout his whole life. He's a bully. He'll always be a bully. He only respects power. That's it. He's at the helm of the most powerful nation on earth by far. People are looking at China, but I'm telling you, the States has weapons that you have no idea about. Tons of lasers in space and stuff you've never even heard about. He's at the helm. He is the Antichrist. And if you think that someone is going to come out that's going to be more powerful than him, and there's going to be something super spiritual about it, like he's going to come out of some portal, that is not going to happen. So I feel sorry for those who don't see what's right in front of them. It was like the Pharisees. It was like, they knew that that time was coming. They saw John. They knew from the book of Malachi. They knew a lot more than the Bible lets on. And they knew to look out, and then they had a man in front of them, Jesus Christ, who came on the scene after John. So imagine the space, and there was 400 years, except for the Maccabees. I believe that was God ordained, that their winds, all the winds, those impossible winds that they had. And a very good story. But the prophets disappeared for 400 years. Then came John, predicted in the book of Malachi. And then Jesus came and started to raise people from the dead. He healed people of diseases. He turned water into wine at Cana. So now you have the most evil man who has ever existed, who is in plain sight of doing things that you wouldn't have even imagined because you don't understand his character and you don't believe that someone like the Antichrist would be right in front of your face, and therein lies the deception. Yeah.